What you're looking at back here is a potable water well. This well was constructed after Rita, because whenever Rita come in, his head was telling you had an enormous amount of seawater that had come in and just engulfed this whole area, and so there was wells that had went under and other different things, and this well was constructed after Rita to help alleviate some of the potable water problems that they was facing here in Lower Cameron, in the town of Cameron area.
Louisiana rural water means additional help to us, plus people we can rely on at any time, night or day. They never have not return a call when you call them. You call the office, you call the field personnel, they're going to be here.
Hi, I'm Senator David Vitter. You know, for more than 30 years, the Louisiana Rural Water Association has been providing training, technical assistance, and certification programs to rural water and wastewater systems throughout our state. Through programs such as the Safe Drinking Water Program, you've helped promote public health and safety and ensure compliance with federal and state rules about water quality and standards. Your firm commitment to providing assistance to local water and wastewater systems has allowed them to build a proven track record of service in the community. I remember that your association was the driving force during Hurricanes Katrina, Rita, Gustav, and Ike, providing much-needed generators, manpower, technical and on-site assistance to those affected by those hurricanes. And your help setting up mobile command units, working closely with local and state officials, provided much-needed services to communities in need. I was proud to work with the Louisiana Rural Water Association during the recovery efforts and help assist in the placement of resources and equipment in the areas that needed them most. It's also evident that the Louisiana Rural Water Association's work continues today all across our state. Through your work with rural water and wastewater systems, you help ensure the health and safety of communities throughout Louisiana. I applaud your great work on behalf of all of us, and I'll certainly continue to support your worthy organization in my work in the U.S. Senate. Thanks so much.
Let me show you the broad radar picture. It's hanging on the coast right here. Homa up here to the north and west of the circulation center. Now, this is one of the longest trailing rain bands I've ever seen in a tropical cyclone. The tail end of it all the way down to Cuba, it's rather insignificant, but it tells of one other thing that's going to be a threat here, and that's the heavy rain. Circulation has slowed considerably, and at the latest advisory, we'll see this not moving at 17 miles per hour. It's slowed down quite a bit, and that's going to be problematic for the flooding rains in Louisiana. And you can see the circulation center coming up. It was moving faster, coming to the coast, slow down, slowing, slow down. It's hanging on the coast, still moving, but a lot slower than before. So the real threat inland is not going to be the wind so much as it is going to be the flooding rains over the next 2 or 3 days. That's going to be basically South Louisiana and central western Louisiana, and that's what we're worried about next in this one.
During the Gustav area, we'd set up a command post in Henderson. Basically what I did, I went out and surveyed systems as to their needs and generators and whatever they needed to bring their system back up. After that, we went out in the fields, started working with the systems and locating areas that needed to be pressured up, finding where the breaks were at, helping them repair the breaks, pressuring up the system, disinfecting, flushing and disinfecting the system to where we could put it back into service. Gustav affected the whole state basically because it came across central Louisiana to the north, so everybody was affected, power outages throughout the state. After the hurricane, we did surveys on all of the parishes that had power outages so that we could get together and have an idea as to what the generator needs were going to be.
Louisiana Rural Water did a remarkable job after the hurricanes. They've been a very important partner of DEQ because we can't be everywhere all the time, and we tend to focus on the bigger issues that the state has to deal with. People like Louisiana Rural Water, through the partnerships that we have with them, they're able to deal with a lot of these issues. Specifically, after the hurricanes, you had Pat Crater and the folks at Louisiana Rural Water covering all these little small communities across the state, making sure that they had some generators to keep the sewer systems up and running. More importantly, to also make sure they had their drinking water systems up and running. Because as folks started to move back into their homes, you know, if you can't flush the toilet and you don't have good water, good clean water to drink, you can't come back. And Pat and those folks in Louisiana Rural Water recognized how important that was, and just, again, did a remarkable job.
The people of Mansfield were faced with having no water during Hurricane Ike until Rural Water came to our rescue with its generator and furnished us power for a few days so we could keep our water system up and running. During Hurricane Ike that hit September the 13th on a Saturday morning, we lost power at this pump station as well as other pump stations in our water system. And through the weekend and into Monday, we had no power, and our water system steadily, our reservoir steadily kept dropping, and to the point that we were getting dangerously low on our reservoir capacity. We even had a low water pressure Sunday morning on September the 14th, and early Monday morning, I contacted the Rural Water Association to see if they had a generator available so we could get power back on, at least to this pump station we're standing in front of. It holds approximately 800,000 gallons of water. We had no way of getting this water into the system because of no power. And they brought one up from a location in South Louisiana up to Alexandria, and we went down to Ellick from Mansfield to meet them and brought the unit up to Mansfield late Monday evening on September the 15th, and we kept the generator until Wednesday, September the 17th, and you know, this enabled us to keep our water system going, you know, during that period of time when we went out on the 13th of September. So it was a great relief for us to have this power source. Rural Water enabled the city of Mansfield and its citizens to have water during Hurricane Ike for a few days because they furnished the power that our system had lost during the storm.
They're a quiet entity that you normally, unless you have had some relationship with the waterworks or government, would probably not even know they existed. They are an entity that is a support entity that gives rural, small water systems the ability to continue on in these days and times. Bigger isn't always better, and Rural Water has proved that they are the kind of the backup mechanism that brings the together not only training for the people that man these systems, but also having the knowledge of where the people are that can come in and help diagnose and resolve issues in local water systems, and find equipment such as generators and other things that are needed in times of emergency.
Following the impacts of Hurricane Katrina and Rita, it became apparent that even with the extraordinary efforts of utilities, water associations, and state regulatory agencies, the demand for resources and knowing where those resources were available hampered the initial response. Realizing that utilities needed a different approach, leaders in the water community and state agencies have joined together to create the Louisiana Water Wastewater Agency Response Network, or LWARN. Its mission is to support and promote statewide emergency preparedness, disaster response, and mutual assistance matters for public and private water and wastewater utilities.